I knew it was just going to be a matter of time before Russell Wilson got benched. But Jaxson Dart this soon? Interesting. So we got to talk about it. Breaking news. I guess it was kind of leaking yesterday about Jaxson Dart taking over as the quarterback for the New York Giants. Hell, even my wife said it, and I hadn't even seen the report yet, but she said that she was hearing that Jaxson Dart was going to be the starter. And by the looks of the way Russell Wilson performed Sunday, you definitely knew something was coming. Now, I have been saying this about Russ. I watched Russ with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, and he had that one big game where he threw for like almost 400 yards, and everybody was going crazy. And listen, he was rolling for a minute, but the one thing that he does well is the same thing that gets him in trouble. If that deep ball is working, Russ putting up out of this world numbers. George Pickens was catching everything, but it was all bombs. There was no offense. It was just straight moonshots. And, once that season progressed and he kept doing the same thing, they turned into INTs. And it's just like almost like a 50-yard punt because the balls are beautiful that he's throwing. But they just go to the other team. And what happened with the New York Giants? Russ had a huge game. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys. And I even said in that game, he started throwing. It's just like he started throwing desperation heaves. And they were just going to the Dallas Cowboys. So as good of a game as that Russ had, he would start throwing it to the other team. And he pretty much let them back into the game to win the game. So we come into this week, and Russ just heaving balls all over the place, and they're interceptions. And those cheers turned into boos. And I was wondering, I said, this is going to be time to do a substitution and get Russ to the bench. And, Brian Daboll's in a situation where he's trying to save his job. You know what I mean? Listen, he has been in a situation where he's had Daniel Jones, who I call the Bernie Madoff of football, but I apologize, Daniel Jones. And I'll talk about Daniel Jones in another video. But being that he couldn't make that work, and now Daniel Jones is in Indianapolis looking like an MVP candidate, he's under pressure to win or at least make a lot of progress with this New York Giants team, especially when you got Malik Nabers, you got Theo Johnson, and you got Tyrone Tracy Jr. You got all these guys. They have a talented roster, and you can tell that the quarterback position is holding them back. Now, inserts Jaxson Dart, Ole Miss. He got the flair, he got the flash, and he got some nice tools. But do I think it was time for Jaxson Dart? I'm going to say no. Here's why. Any other time, I would have said, hey, Russ is garbage right now. Go ahead and pull him, put the rookie in, let him go to work. But this team is in a position where you have Brian Burns making a big contract. You got Kayvon Thibodeau. You got Dexter Lawrence, one of my favorite guys. This team is kind of built to win. The secondary ain't the greatest. You got Paulson and Debo back there. It ain't the greatest, but this team is formidable. My pick would have been Jameis Winston. Yes, Jameis Winston will get you in trouble, but Jameis Winston also can go win you some games. We saw what he did with the Cleveland Browns last year. Yes, Jameis is going to put you in fire, but he's exciting to watch, and he's going to give you a chance. And when I look at this New York Giants team, I'm saying at max, they're probably an 8-win team. That's enough to say Brian Daboll's job and Joe Schoen's job as the GM. And kind of let Jaxson Dart evolve. Let him grow. I think this was kind of a rush decision. Now, Jaxson Dart can come out and show out. Because he got wheels, he got a strong arm, he got moxie, he got all those type of things. He kind of puts you in the mind of a younger Baker, honestly. And I can see kind of what the hype is about, especially when I saw him in preseason. He did a lot of really good things. But I would have just held maybe a few more weeks, because what was your point of bringing Jameis Winston in? Because the whole point was to kind of save Jaxson Dart from himself. He's a young guy. He's going to be excited. You know, you're in New York City. You know, the pressure cooker is even higher there than anywhere else in the NFL or sports, period. So I just would have gave him a little bit of time to kind of just marinate, learn some things. Because, listen, I seen the frustration in Malik Nabers' face. He getting hurt diving for balls. Russ throwing the balls 15 yards further than what he's running. I mean, on these fly routes, I mean, like when they was dropping in the bucket, they was dropping in the bucket. But when Russ was missing, Russ was missing. So I do get that part. I just think if you have somebody like a Jameis Winston who could come in and be a stopgap for at least 2 or 3 more games, give him a chance to play, make some mistakes, and then let Jaxson Dart be your last resort. Because, again, what was the point of bringing in these 2 veteran quarterbacks that could get you some tread off the tires until the rookie is ready to play? So when I look at the situation, I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see the type of game plan that Daboll puts together. Is it going to be a lot of RPO for Jaxson Dart? How much are they going to simplify the offense? I mean, let me be honest. Russell Wilson's offense was simplified. I mean, all he did was sit in shotgun and just throw it 50 yards down the field. I mean, that was his offense. And literally hope Malik Nabers come down with the ball. So, you know, it was already simplistic. But I would like to see how, you know, Jaxson Dart goes through his reads and his progressions, because now you're in the big times with a lot of pressure on your back. And see, that's the thing. Russell was so bad this past week, and now you're like, they booing him, and now they're like, all right, Jaxson, now you go in and come save us. And I just wouldn't have done that. What I would have did if it was my team is I would have let Jameis Winston start, and even if you wanted to get Jaxson Dart in and Jameis was playing bad, I would have pulled Jameis at halftime, then put Jaxson Dart in. Because now Jaxson Dart today is going to go from Tuesday to Sunday, and now they're going to be asking him a whole bunch of questions on pretty much how he can make this team better to get them over the hump. Because, again, they're showing a lot of promise. But if it was me, I would have just kind of held a little steady and let the veteran Jameis Winston go in. But I could have told you about Russ. The Russ relationship was not going to last. Once I seen them moon balls was hitting and, you know, everybody was going crazy, I'm like, this is only going to last 1 or 2 games. He is not a starter. Russ is cooked. He cooked. Russ ain't cooking no more. He's cooked. It's over. You know, it's probably about time for him to go home, to be honest. You know, he go be the host of Dancing with the Stars or something, or go do some commentary or something like that. That sounds like it's more in his wheelhouse. Right now, being a quarterback, he can't move. You can't see over the pocket. And when you can't see over the pocket and athleticism was a part of Russell Wilson's game, I think a lot of people forget that he has that baseball background. Just like Kyler Murray, when you see Kyler Murray right now in Arizona, how he get to scampering around the field to basically get from around those offensive linemen that are huge, where he can see in those spaces and let that ball go. That was the same thing Russell Wilson did, and he can't do it anymore. Those legs are stiff. He ain't going nowhere, and this is why Russ looks the way he looks. So, interested to see what they do with Jaxson Dart, the type of play calling. Again, I think you're probably going to see a lot of RPOs. I want to see how much they simplify the offense. But again, I would have went with Jameis Winston just for now. But it ain't my team. Giants fans, let me know in the comments below. Are you excited about Jaxson Dart starting immediately? Or do you feel like Jameis Winston could have came in and kind of held the mantle for a minute till you felt Jaxson Dart was ready? Drop it in the comments below. To the next video.